what she found inside the facility.
Yeah, Frank and Julie, there are 29 women, current and former inmates, who say they were mistreated, and the issues unfairly target women at Santa Rita. We got answers from the sheriff, who says these accusations are hurtful, offensive, and false. Candace Steel says the birth of her baby Hope was a blessing and a curse.
It was a blessing to have my child, but it's also a curse that I had to endure that. No woman should have to do that, no matter where they are in jail, no matter. They shouldn't have to be ignored like that.
July 21st, 2017, Steel found herself in custody at Alameda County Santa Rita Jail.
I was 8 months pregnant, about to pop.
Sheriff's deputies had arrested Steel and her boyfriend at a homeless encampment here in Castro Valley, charging the couple with trespassing and child endangerment. Steel's case was later dismissed.
They put me in the isolation cell, and I still wasn't feeling right. Maybe 15 minutes later, after I saw the nurse, I was crawling to the toilet to go throw up, and that's when my water broke.
Steel had been sent to the hospital, but sent back to jail because doctors said she wasn't in labor. Court documents show a jail nurse then said Steel was exaggerating, and deputies put her in an isolation cell as punishment.
I noticed that they shut the little window on me to muffle my screams.
What she was about to go through, Steel says, is nothing anyone should be forced to endure.
I just sat back on the concrete slab, pushed a little bit, and then stood up, pulled her head out. Then a couple minutes later, the deputy opens the door, and I'm standing there in a puddle of my own blood with my baby in my arms, and all the deputy could say was, "Oh, okay." And I just couldn't believe that they would put me through that, knowing that I was pregnant.
6 months before, Cindy Toronto of Richmond found herself in the same jail.
Going through a very difficult divorce.
Arrested for violating a restraining order.
I was put in this detention cell. I don't know the specific names of it.
Toronto says after asking 4 times,
You just wanted feminine products.
I just wanted feminine products.
it took more than 6 hours for staff to give her a pad.
I bled through everything.
Deputies released Toronto the next morning. Charges were never filed.
So I walked out of jail, soaked, covered in blood, and had to take the bus to BART.
Were you angry?
I was ashamed of basically being a woman.
No weapons, no pocket knives.
2 investigators reached out to Alameda County. Sheriff Greg Ahern agreed to give us a rare, personal, in-depth tour of Santa Rita Jail that he's overseen for more than a decade.
We disagree, we strongly disagree, and we're going to show you exactly what we do for women in our custody.
We told Ahern about the 29 women, including Toronto and Steel, who've sued the county in the last 4 years, saying they were mistreated at Santa Rita Jail. Attorney Yolanda Huang represents all the plaintiffs.
We identified 29, so that does seem like a big number.
It's a big number of inmates. I will agree to that. That's a number of inmates who are seeking financial reward for staying in our facility.
Surrounded by his team of department heads.
This is one of the cleanest facilities you'll ever step foot in.
We went from unit to unit.
And this is our clinic, our trauma room. We also have a pharmacy here.
The sheriff showed us the OBGYN department, stacks of menstrual pads, toilet paper, and other sparkling clean spots.
Very proud of us. Even our doorknobs are polished brass.
For those who think it's because KTVU's here, it's all cleaned up. Some people might think that.
We have this scheduled. So this scheduled well before you told me you're going to come out here to the jail.
It would be impossible to clean this thing in a day or week.
The sheriff's team even showed us the very isolation cell where Steel gave birth.
With that case, she was obviously pregnant and screaming for help, and she says no one came.
So,
how is that possible?
well, she was, I can't talk about that case.
Yeah, because we're not denying that the baby was not born in our jail, obviously. But we're saying that there's more to this than just what that story is. There's a series of events that happen prior and during, and so.
And what is that?
Well, I can't, obviously, yeah, so.
As for Cindy Toronto's case,
So we filed a motion in court denying that, and the motion is currently being heard.
So you're saying it didn't happen?
Correct.
a study by the nonprofit Prison Policy Initiative shows women have become the fastest growing segment of the nation's incarcerated population. Alex Keitstura is the legal director of the organization.
Jails and prisons were built and have historically housed mostly men, and that continues to be true till today. They're not really meant to handle women who have different needs.
Ahern says that's not the case at Santa Rita.
We designed this facility specifically to take in those considerations.
As the sheriff continued to lead me around, our photographer stayed behind to shoot video and ended up speaking candidly with inmate Paula Ewing. She says she's happy with her treatment.
And when I came here, oh my God, this is the best medical facility in the world because I didn't know I had cancer in my uterus.
When you hear people say there was feces on the wall, blood everywhere, and tampons stuck everywhere, does that make you angry?
You mean the people that are in custody for murder, rape, robbery, who have lied their entire life and they make things up habitually, who have...
Well, the 4 women we spoke to, they got their cases dismissed.
Are we perfect? No, but we continue to make improvements.
If you were to give your jail a grade in terms of how it's addressing women's needs, what would you give it?
Well, I give it an A. I think we're the best big jail in the nation.
They knew they screwed up, and they just want to say or do anything to try to make me look bad so it can make them look even better.
Steel and Toronto say their cases have become bigger than them, still a blessing and a curse.
I'm scared.
Why?
Because speaking up doesn't always work in people's favor.
Women who have gone through what I went through need to step up and not be afraid anymore, because there is somebody who's going to stand up to the sheriffs, and that's me. That's Candace Steel.
A settlement in a previous legal case resulted in improvements to female care at Santa Rita Jail. It includes having privacy screens for searches and trash cans for sanitary napkins. Sheriff's officials say they are in line with those rules, while the women we spoke to don't believe it's followed on a regular basis.
So how many women does Santa Rita Jail oversee?
So Santa Rita has about 2,100 inmates right now. Women make up 10%, so that's about 200 women. At any one time, officials say they have about 1 to 4 pregnant inmates, but the number could be higher because it's up to the inmates to tell staff that they're pregnant.
All right, Candice Nguyen, thank you.